this thing on. I don't know. Feels kind of weird. Feels kind of weird. I don't know. What's this weird feeling I have? Are we live? Are we? let me clear my throat a little bit. Are we live? I don't know. Are we live, ladies and gentlemen? I'm back. Oh, I'm like Sasha Banks. I have like 4 or 5 fucking returns every year. This is like what, my second return already, and it's not even the end of March yet. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy Fitzmonk TV here, aka G-Lauren33. I am back here tonight with an episode of the Legit Shoot podcast, here with your Monday Night Raw review and results for March 28th, 2022. Yes, it is not a dream. You're not watching a rerun. Well, you might be watching a rerun. I don't know. But this is the Legit Shoot podcast. It has been a while, and I'm just going to say this first. I'm not going to apologize for being gone. I have nothing to apologize for. I don't owe any explanations. All I will say is, if you listen to this podcast, you know why I was gone. It's that simple. If you follow me on social media, you probably could have figured that out as well. You know, it's that simple. I love making YouTube videos. It's one of my passions. I'm a very busy man. And with the way the WWE product has been, I just don't have that itch like I used to cover WWE. I have so many other things I could be doing with my time. So many other things I have been doing with my time. My glasses keep fogging off. But, you know, I'm here tonight. I'm not going to sit here and make promises, right? Saying that I'm going to be back, you know, because I can't promise you that. I may be here tonight. I might not be here next week. I am back, you know? So enjoy me being here while it lasts, because you don't know how long I will be here. You better sit and relish every single second of this podcast that you can, because you don't know. I could easily shut down this stream at any time and then just be gone for another 2 months, or maybe I'll be gone for a week, or maybe I'll be back here later this week with another episode. You never know. I'm that unpredictable, and you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter to me anymore. If WWE is bad and I choose not to review the show, it doesn't hurt me at all. I'm just going to go on and live my life. If I don't want to review a show, then you guys can deal with it. Just going to be honest with you guys. A lot of you guys hit me up on social media. You know, a lot of you guys want to spam my inbox with constant tweets like I give a crap. You know, like I don't have time to focus on wrestling 24/7. There is a life beyond wrestling. So if you message me and I don't respond, it's because I kind of don't care. I'm trying to say that in the nicest way possible, but I'm being honest. I'm not going to sit here and waste my time on a bad product if I choose not to waste my time on it. If I want to sit here and rant about how bad WWE is, then that's my choice. If I choose to sit here and not make a podcast, that's also my choice. And if I choose to not respond to somebody inboxing me, tweets, and all this other stuff about wrestling, and I don't respond, that's my choice, because I don't want to talk about wrestling. It's that simple. Get it through your heads. I don't want to sit here and bitch and moan. I don't. If I want to bitch and moan, I'll do that. But most of the time I don't want to. And luckily tonight, you're probably not going to get a lot of bitching and moaning from me. You're probably not. You know, you may get a rant here and there, but, you know, if you're expecting me to come on here and rip this show, you're probably going to be disappointed. Right? Because I try to be brutally honest. And I'm going to be honest with you guys tonight. Monday Night Raw, and you rarely hear me say this, Monday Night Raw today was a good show. I'm laughing as I say that because it's so rare for me to see that. For those of you guys who have listened to this podcast over the years, I say that maybe, 3 or 4 times a year? And I know in recent months I haven't made as many videos, especially when it comes to this podcast. But still, it is rare for me to say Raw is a good show. But I will give credit where credit is due. Tonight was a good episode of Raw for the most part. It did its job. It built towards WrestleMania. And I'll just say this now. Most likely later this week, I will have another stream or another video. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But I will have some sort of video out where we'll go through the entire WrestleMania card. And I will give my preview and predictions. Right? And then, you know, that video you might hear a little more ranting from me. But if you're expecting me to rant about WrestleMania and all that on tonight's podcast, you're probably not gonna get much of that because, you know, I'm gonna try to focus on Raw tonight and what it means for WrestleMania. And Raw was actually a decent show. It actually built and it built a little bit of interest for WrestleMania. If I'm being honest, I was not that hyped for WrestleMania going into this show. I'm still not super excited for WrestleMania coming out of this show. I'm going to watch and I'm going to review it, of course, right? There are some things that I am intrigued and excited about. I am excited for AJ Styles and Edge. That's probably the match I'm most hyped about on the card. I'm intrigued about Seth Rollins and his WrestleMania storyline, even though almost all of us will agree that it's most likely going to be Cody Rhodes on Saturday night. Still, it's an intriguing story, and definitely there's lots of ways it can go. Those are, you know, Stone Cold and Kevin Owens. I love what KO has been doing. KO has been probably one of the best parts about the WrestleMania build, right? And regardless of what happens with him and Stone Cold on Saturday night, we don't know what we're going to get. We don't know if it's going to be a match or a brawl or something. You know, it's going to be some sort of fight. We just don't know what kind of format it's going to be. You know, I am excited about that because I love Stone Cold. He's one of my all-time favorites. And Kevin Owens is fantastic. And I think he's one of the most underrated, unappreciated stars in the entire company. Those are the things I'm excited about at WrestleMania. Almost everything else, really, I don't really care about. I don't really care about, you know, the rest of it. You know? And yes, this show did help make WrestleMania a little more exciting for some. Not really for me, but for some. I'm just trying to be honest here. You know? And we'll see what happens with WrestleMania. But for the most part, I have been disappointed with WWE and their booking and their handling of the WrestleMania build up to this point. In the weeks prior, I was not hyped for WrestleMania at all. Not hyped at all. Tonight was the first night where I actually thought that WWE was really trying to make WrestleMania feel like WrestleMania. The angles that you saw on the show, we had a big return with Bobby Lashley, which we'll talk about. And, you know, tonight's show is something that we should have gotten all throughout the WrestleMania build. I say this all the time. WrestleMania starts before the Royal Rumble. You're planning for WrestleMania to technically begin the night after WrestleMania, that first Raw. And then SummerSlam is where you start putting the pieces in place. The Royal Rumble is when it's off to the races. And then from the Royal Rumble to WrestleMania, that's where we get the road to WrestleMania, the WrestleMania build. And throughout the WrestleMania build, we have not gotten that excitement. We have not gotten those shows and those moments and those segments that make you think, this is WrestleMania. Tonight was the first night, and it's crazy because it's the go-home show. The go-home show is supposed to be exciting, right? But tonight was the first night in the entire build to WrestleMania where they actually tried to make WrestleMania feel exciting. Tonight's show was basically a super show. You had Raw and SmackDown superstars on Raw, and you'll probably have a little bit of the same on SmackDown. They marketed this show as a WrestleMania Raw, right? Basically, they had most of the people that will be appearing on WrestleMania this weekend, right? They had them on the show outside of a couple people, but mainly everybody that's going to be on the card this Saturday and Sunday was on tonight's show. And with the angles they did and the segments they did, if I'm being honest, they did a good job. They did a good job. And I got to give WWE credit for that. But this is what you should have been doing throughout the entire build to WrestleMania. Why did it take you to the last week, the very last week, to actually start caring about WrestleMania? That's my problem. You waited till the last minute to put all these matches together, right? And there's still people that don't have matches on the card. Why the fuck does Finn Balor not have a WrestleMania match? Why isn't the IC title and the US title being defended on WrestleMania? The whole point, one of the whole points, the reason why I've been so big on WWE doing 2 nights of WrestleMania every single year is that they could get everybody on the show that deserved to be on the show. You have a huge roster. Your roster is absolutely ginormous. Not even mentioning NXT or NXT UK. You have a ginormous roster full of talent. The whole reason why I agreed that WWE should do 2 days of WrestleMania is that you can get as much of this talent as possible on those 2 nights of Mania. That you can get all those titles that you have, WrestleMania matches. But instead, one of the disappointing things with WrestleMania this year is that WWE has put more care into bringing celebrities back, right? To bringing celebrities in for matches than using people that they have on the roster already and titles that deserve to be defended on WrestleMania. Look, here's one thing. One problem in the past with WWE, with WrestleMania, we used to complain about this all the time. Remember, in years past, what did we complain about with WrestleMania? There's too many part-timers. Why are you bringing back part-timers that take spots away from full-time guys on what's supposed to be the biggest show of the year? And for the most part, right, remember, those WrestleManias were about 6, 7, 8 hours long because you had the pre-show. You had the pre-show, and then you had the main card, which was about 5, 6 hours. So you would absolutely put out this long-ass day of wrestling. And I don't care if it's WrestleMania. 6, 7, 8 hours is a long, long, long time to be sitting there watching wrestling, especially when you're in a stadium. You get tired. There's only so much beer and so much concessions that you can have before you just can't take it anymore and you just want to go home and sleep. Right? And those WrestleManias in the past, what did you get? You had Goldberg, you had your Brock Lesnar's, you had your Triple H, you had Shane McMahon, you had Batista, you had all these names, all these part-timers on the card taking matches away from people that deserve to be on that card. And I could go down and down. The list could go on and on about people who deserved to be on WrestleMania in the past and weren't allowed to. Either they were on the pre-show in a stupid, retarded-ass battle royal, or they weren't on the show at all, period. Right? Now the problem is, now we have 2 nights of WrestleMania, which I think is still a fabulous idea. I really don't care to hear what other people that don't like the 2-night WrestleMania, I don't care to hear that explanation. When you have a roster as huge as WWE, when you have a roster as huge as the main roster for WWE is, you should be trying to get as much of that talent on the card as possible. So not only do you not have fans sitting there for 8 hours, right? It allows for more people who are deserving to be on the card to get time to shine, right? And we can go down the list. But now the problem is those full-time people that deserve to be on WrestleMania are now not losing spots and matches to part-timers because there's really not as many part-timers on the show this year, right? Triple H just retired. Undertaker's retired, right? Shane McMahon's no longer with the company. You know, thank God Goldberg's not on the card. So many of those part-timers that would have taken matches away from others, they're not on the card anymore. The problem is now you bring in celebrities. You have Logan Paul. You have Johnny Knoxville. How the hell are those two individuals more deserving of a WrestleMania match than a fucking Finn Balor and a Damian Priest who worked his ass off in the last year? Damian Priest was one of the only people that was booked correctly on Raw in the last year. Even though, you know, he never really got the, I guess you could say, the admiration and the reaction from the fans that he deserved, because the guy worked his ass off as a babyface. But the fact that how the hell do you have somebody like Damian Priest who you booked strongly for most of last year? How the hell you don't have him on WrestleMania? But you have a Logan Paul and a Johnny Knoxville. Ricochet. How the hell do you not have the IC title? The IC title, one of the most prestigious titles in not only WWE, but all of wrestling, all of sports entertainment. How do you not have that on the WrestleMania card? That doesn't make sense. Look at the IC titles. Just look at the history of the IC title at WrestleMania. Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels having the arguably the greatest ladder match in history. The ladder match that set the foundation for every single ladder match that came after it. Think about all the great moments that the IC title has had at WrestleMania over the years. Daniel Bryan winning the IC title at WrestleMania 31. I can go on and on. And how the hell do you not have the IC title being defended at WrestleMania? It's not on the show at all. The U.S. Championship is not on the show at all. The whole point of having a 2-night WrestleMania is to make sure those titles are defended on that show. They're not on night 1 or night 2. They're not going to be on WrestleMania at all, which makes zero sense. You look at how many ridiculous matches are on the WrestleMania card that shouldn't, if you're being honest, they shouldn't be there. And, you know, you could put title matches that are more deserving in place of those matches. It's crazy. It's crazy. And this is what I'm talking about with why I'm saying I'm not as hyped for WrestleMania this year. Because the card could have been 1,000 times better. In the Discord server I'm in, right, I put like my own fantasy card of WrestleMania. And man, if I could remember off the top of my head, you know, if we had the time, I would go through each match. And I'm willing to bet many of you would agree with me that my card is better than the card they made right now for WrestleMania. It's insane. It's insane. You have there's like at least 4 or 5 tag team matches that shouldn't be on this card. There's a couple singles matches that shouldn't be on the card at all. You want to advertise this as the most stupendous WrestleMania ever, but half the card is not stupendous at all. Half the card is like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you wasting my time with this garbage? That's what I'm trying to say here. So even though we got a good show for a good Monday Night Raw tonight that helped build interest for WrestleMania, it's still, in my eyes, in my opinion, I just don't care. I'm not that excited for WrestleMania. You know, there will be big moments. There will be stuff that we'll talk about for years and years to come, coming out of this WrestleMania. When Cody Rhodes comes out at WrestleMania this year, it's going to be a special moment. Because, you know, Cody Rhodes, the biggest superstar to make the transition from AEW to WWE. Cody Rhodes coming back to the brand that he's had so much, or back to the company that he's had so much history with. Some good, so many negatives. You know, will Cody Rhodes come out with the black hair? Will he come out with the gold hair or the blonde hair, whatever you want to call it? Will he come out with, will he go back to his old Smoky Mirrors theme? Oh, you're always smoking mirrors. Or will he come out with his AEW theme? How will his entrance be? That's something I'm excited about. But there's only so much excitement that you can give somebody like me. And it's still, there might be 2 really good things I'm excited about, and there's 10 other things that I don't give a shit about. And still, when I look back at the show, trust me, I'm gonna think more about the negatives than the positives. That's just the way I'm wired. 2 or 3 good matches out of, the 15 that are slated right now for both nights of WrestleMania, right? It's not going to be enough for me to say, oh, this was a fantastic WrestleMania. I'm not going to sit here and do that. I'm going to be honest. And I'm not that excited for WrestleMania outside of the couple things I listed at the beginning of this video. And Raw, they did a good job of building towards WrestleMania tonight, but it's not enough to change the way I see the show, and that is my opinion. All right. So I know I went on a little bit of a rant here to start, but what else do you expect from me? Honestly, what else do you expect? Let me look in the chat real quick. I know I haven't done this in a while, and it's kind of fair. I'm going to be honest here. I know there's some people here that are usually here every single week, and I know I have not been consistent, right, with, I know I have been consistent with the reviews, and I'm not going to go explaining that again, So I know some people that are usually here may not be here probably because they either weren't expecting a review, or maybe they're watching something else, which is fine, Totally understand. When I made the decision to stop reviewing the show for how long it's been what, a month and a half, 2 months, I don't even know. When I made that decision, I knew that there was going to come with some consequences. I may lose viewers, but at the end of the day, the ones that are here, thank you for being here, and hopefully the others will come back. But I'm not going to sit here and make the promise that they will come back. And I'm also not going to be able to make the promise I'm going to be here every single week. All right? I will be here when I want to be here. That's the mentality I'm going on. Last year or a couple years ago, I would say I would be here every single week. And I did do that. Now, things change. If I don't want to review Raw or SmackDown, I'm just not going to do it. That's the simple thing. But let me look in the chat. We got... Good to see some of you guys still here, but... Okay. I just looked in the chat really quick. And like I always say, guys, you guys are new to the channel. Make sure to leave a like. Also subscribe if you guys are new as well. Thank you guys for being here. Also, thank you to everyone who's live tweeted with me. It felt good to live tweet. It really did, if I'm being honest. And tonight's show was actually a good one. It's always... I know that you guys want the rant. I know that's what you guys, that's part of the reason why you guys watch me. But, I like it better where I can just sit here and talk wrestling. Simple as that. I don't have to go losing my voice and then, potentially waking up the people that I live with. Like, I don't want to do that. But yeah. Let me just pull up the notes from Bleacher Report. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of feel rusty. I feel rusty. When you get into a rhythm, the way I had it back, when you get into a rhythm, you're just like, but it's been so long since we've done a review. It's just, oof. Anyway, like I said, Raw was good tonight. I didn't even pull up the clips. But anyway, excuse me. Raw opened up tonight with what was it? It was Brock Lesnar. Jeez Louise, man. Yeah, my bad. Hold on. Yeah, it was Brock Lesnar. Wait, hold up. Is my thumbnail good? I was just looking on YouTube. It looks like my thumbnail is CM Punk. Oh no. My dumbass. I didn't even change the thumbnail. I have CM Punk on the thumbnail. What am I doing? Damn, I'm rusty. What the hell? I almost never make that mistake. Hold on. Okay. My bad. Hold on. Let me try to think. I'm going to fix this on the... Wow. Wow, I'm rusty. I just noticed now that my thumbnail had CM Punk, and nobody in the chat was gonna say, George, hey Fitz, you have CM Punk from AEW as your thumb. That was my last review. That was my last review. The AEW Revolution, which was what, 3 weeks ago. Geez, so I apologize for that. Oh wow. For some reason, it's not letting me do that. Okay, that's better. All right, anyway, let's get back to it. So, the show opened up with Brock Lesnar. Let me pull up the clips. There's probably going to be a lot of clips on tonight's show because there was a lot of promos, but most of them, if not all of them, were good. So Brock Lesnar. So they advertised both Brock and Roman for tonight's show, right? And I kind of had a feeling they were going to do something like this. I had a feeling that they weren't going to have Brock and Roman interact with one another. And for being honest, Brock and Roman, if they didn't, face off again going into Mania, it wouldn't do anything. It wouldn't hurt the build. Brock and Roman, that story kind of sells itself. There's really not much else that those two could do in one another to kind of build hype for the match. And there's really nothing you could say in the promo, right? I kind of think that this feud kind of reached its peak in a way. And even though if I'm being honest, I'm not super excited for Roman and Brock because I don't know what else they can do. I'm hoping it's a barn burner at this, this Sunday. But I just don't know because I've seen 1,000 Roman and Brock matches, right? We've been watching that for well over half a decade. So I don't know what they could do that they haven't done already. But we'll see. We'll see. But, really, the feud to me kind of reached its peak at when Roman attacked Brock at Madison Square Garden. That video of Roman holding both the Universal and the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in his hand was kind of it. There was nothing else you needed to do at that point. If they had chosen at that point to not have Brock or Roman appear again on TV till WrestleMania, it would have hurt the feud. That was the peak. There was nothing else you could have done, to make to build the match up like, outside of that. That visual of Roman, standing over Brock in the steel steps, but Brock bleeding, right? And Roman holding both the belts, screaming, Brock Lesnar, acknowledge me inside Madison Square Garden. That was an amazing visual. I think it broke the record for like most views ever on an Instagram post for WWE. It was crazy. So really that was when this feud peaked for me personally. And everything else is kind of just been a filler just to get us to WrestleMania. So when they announced Brock and Roman on Raw tonight, I was just thinking they're not really going to have any physical altercation. They're probably just going to be there to cut promos on that, one another. Maybe this Friday on SmackDown, maybe, just maybe they may have a physical altercation. But, I could definitely see them on SmackDown doing like a pull-apart brawl. But I don't think they're going to do anything else with these two. There's really not much else to do with these two. So you had Brock and Roman out there cutting promos. We'll get the Roman. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do Roman's promo right after Brock's, just so we don't, because we're talking about it, so might as well do both now. But I'm going to play Brock's promo first. And we always knew Brock's not the best when it comes to the mic, but this promo, in my opinion, was kind of weak. Was kind of weaker than a usual Brock promo. And, I don't really blame him for it, but still. Well, let's play it.
Your WWE champion is in the house. I'm sorry, I gotta do this. You see, for the last 20 years, that loudmouth Paul Heyman has been doing all the yapping for me, but I gotta do this for you tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday Night Raw! That felt good, but it felt like it sucked.
I will say this. Look, Brock's having so much fun, and it's good to see this side of Brock. It's been fantastic these last, 6 months, right? Getting to see Brock have fun on the microphone, come out with the cowboy hats and the sweaters and all that, and have the beard and the ponytail. It's a side of Brock Lesnar you thought you would never see. And it generally looks like he's really enjoying himself. This is great stuff. It's great to see Brock act like this, but, now this is WrestleMania, right? We're getting down to the wire. And now, now that you don't no longer have Paul in line with Brock, this is when, and, you need Brock to cut that signature promo, really hit it home. We know that we know what Brock can do in the ring, right? He doesn't need to go say that, or, prove that. But now that Brock's, on his own cutting promos, he really needs to kind of stick it here and really just be like, add that layer to this feud to add more excitement, which he kind of really struggled to do. He's having fun here, of course, right? And that's cool to see, but we're 6 days away from Mania. It's time to get serious. This was a good line. That was a good line.
You see, this Sunday at WrestleMania, I'm going to spoil my game plan to Roman here.
So pulling the Paul Heyman, right? Spoiler alert.
See, Roman,
I'll be right back.
this Sunday, this is a spoiler now, we're going to take a trip down memory lane. Yeah, you can play along like that if you want. We're gonna take a trip down the streets of Suplex City, and then I'm gonna introduce you to the old beast of Broadway, survives the ride on the F5. Yeah, Steve will be there too. Steve Austin. He's an ass kicker like me too. But he didn't kick my ass. All right, enough. After our carnival ride now, this is where the party really starts. Roman, we're going to hit a wedding. We're going to be wedding crashers. My title is going to marry your title. And it's going to have a baby. The unified title.
So this is weird. So like, yeah. So I understand what Brock was trying to. I guess I understand what Brock's goal was here with this promo, right? You know, he was trying to be funny, you know, and trying to put the whole carnival festival spin onto it. It just didn't really hit. It just didn't really hit. You know, and it was kind of funny. You know, we're gonna join the titles together. They're gonna get married and have a baby, right? I still don't know what WWE's plan is, you know, because I still think what WWE wants to do is they want one title for Raw, one title for SmackDown. I've heard some rumors saying they might split up the titles a couple months after, right? Roman might hold the titles for a little bit after Mania, but it might just go back. They might do something with your Money in the Bank or something. You know, they might just have something happens where Roman gives up the WWE Championship and then he just takes the Universal title back to SmackDown. I've heard rumors saying, you know, they might merge the titles and then, you know, either Roman's gonna walk around with two belts or they might come up with a new belt for Roman, right? This would be like the undisputed Universal title or whatever you want to call it, the undisputed WWE Universal title, right? And they might, you know, come up with another belt for the other brand. But I don't know. You know, right now the plans for After Mania are kind of confusing. I don't know what they're gonna do with Roman when he's walking around with the two belts, but there are just, you know, something that's thrown out there. But yeah.
And I get full custody.
I get full custody.
Listen, yeah. I'm in a great mood tonight because you know why? In 6 days at WrestleMania, I finally get my hands on Roman Reigns. You see, there's no more running, Roman. There's nowhere to hide this Sunday. Okay? This Sunday at WrestleMania, I'm going to stand above you with two titles. And I'm going to raise them to the sky. And they will chant, ladies and gentlemen, your new, reigning, defending, unified heavyweight champion of the world, Brock Lesnar.
You know, not a bad promo. You know, not a bad promo. He kind of did a good job at the end here, bringing it all together, saying, oh, I'm going to get my hands on you finally, and then I'm going to, you know, stand, unified, undisputed champion. So, you know, decent promo by Brock. All right, not bad. You know, could have been better, but not bad. You know, we know that Roman's 99.9999%, you know, winning. You know, there's like a little chance that Brock wins. You know, I'm hearing rumors that since, you know, Brock's kind of his anniversary, like it's almost his 20-year anniversary since he first signed with WWE, that's coming up, that he might stay a little bit after WrestleMania, so he might be around a little bit more because WWE potentially wants to make some documentaries and some merch with him, right? But I honestly think, if Roman indeed wins on Sunday, like we expect him to, right? I think Brock's going to probably take a break until SummerSlam. I don't know what you would do with Brock once he comes back, because I think we're all very, very fatigued of Brock and Roman at this point, and this needs to be the last match, probably forever between these two, because they've done the feud to death. But we'll see. But look, Brock got a good promo, or an okay promo here. But he's probably not. It's very, very unlikely that he will win on WrestleMania Sunday. Moving on to Roman Reigns, though, he came around the 9 o'clock hour. He came up with this, the Bloodline, and he had these. He had this awesome red tracksuit on. He had he had the retro ones, the original retro ones on as well, which looked fire, man. And what was good here, like, Roman cut a really, really good promo. Like, there are times where I just don't like hearing Roman Reigns on the mic, right? But this was one of Roman's best promos, if you ask me, especially since he's turned heel. I think what's great here, Paul Heyman doesn't say a word, right? It was just Roman and for like about 5 minutes or so. And this was great. So I'm going to play Roman's promo, which I actually really enjoyed. Hey, meanwhile, why the fuck was the go-home show for WrestleMania in Pittsburgh? Like, no disrespect to Britt Baker, right? But Pittsburgh is where you want to do a go-home show for WrestleMania? Not Philly? Not New York? Not somewhere in Florida? But not even Texas, where you're about to be for the next week? But Pittsburgh? That's where you want to do your go-home show for Mania? I don't know. That just shocked me a little bit.
You see, I was going to come out here and I was going to shine on you. I was going to talk about, being the last needle mover. We was going to talk about God mode. We was going to talk about how I used to run Monday Night Raw. Until Fox came begging for me to come save SmackDown.
Look, man, I understand Roman's technically the face of SmackDown, but don't make me have to go on the rant where I go off. Roman does not move the ratings as much as people think he does. He doesn't. That's actually Sasha Banks. And there's stats out there, to back it up. Sasha gets the highest rated segments every single week. I'm not gonna, that's not me being biased. There's actual stats to back it up. Roman does not move the needle. As great as Roman has been as a heel, he's not as huge as a needle mover as people think he is.
And those are facts. It's all true. The tribal chief has done everything that you can do in this business, you see. Except one thing. If y'all keep whatting me, I'm gonna smash all of y'all like I would smash Steve Austin.
That was a great line. Look how easy it was for him to get healed just by saying that, man. Look at the heat he was able to get on himself. That was a great line by Roman.
I'm gonna smash Brock Lesnar. So like I was saying, the tribal chief has done everything. Except beat the beast at WrestleMania. And that pisses me off.
I really do like how Roman's built up that intensity in his voice. You notice it a lot more with some of these promo he cuts. He didn't really have that voice back in the day. He would try to, but he never had it. But the more he's improved with this tribal chief gimmick, just hearing that voice, the more it pisses me off. Like, I like that. I love hearing that deep intensity here with Roman. And, they're doing Roman and Brock for the third time. It's similar to The Rock and Stone Cold. The Rock, he couldn't beat Stone Cold at WrestleMania until the third match. That's exactly what they're doing with Roman and Brock. Brock won the first two. This is for Roman to get his win. And it's easily the biggest one of the three. Somebody in the chat is calling me JD Black. If you like JD so much, you can go watch this show. I don't know if you're trying to offend me or not. It's not working. Where you can go watch JD if you want to. Maybe, I don't know if you're trying to compliment me, but hey, everyone has their opinions. You're not going to rile me up tonight.
Let's talk about Brock then. That's what y'all want to do. Y'all want to talk about it. Let's talk about Brock. What really bothers me about Brock is just a couple weeks ago he was out for blood. It was personal to him. But he's already spilled my blood. In 2018 at WrestleMania 34, he busted my head wide open. Right here. Right here.
This is good. This one, the promo got good.
On the hairline, one across the top of my skull, and I bled all over New Orleans.
I like it. So they're going into the history between Brock and Roman. We all remember how bloody Roman was. I remember that review. That was a long ass night, but like Roman walked out bloodied and looked like a mess.
Smashed my face to the point my children didn't even recognize me. My wife didn't want me in this business anymore. My father doubted me. My family was disappointed in me. And then he comes out here.
This is good. I like this. See, I like this, bringing the family element into it.
And it's just a game now. Oh, we're talking about Suplex City. It's a carnival where it's a wedding now. The titles are going to have babies. It's just a game. Okay, that's all good because the tribal it's a game now. Oh, we're talking about Suplex City. It's a carnival where it's a wedding now. The titles are going to have babies. It's just a game. Okay, that's all good because the tribal chief changed the game.
Did he change the game? I don't know. Just asking a question.
We changed the game, and we're going to take everything from him. You see, I already took his advocate and upgraded him to a wise man.
That's good. So he's like, oh, I took Paul Heyman from you, right? The same way the Big Show did in 2003. Right? I took Paul Heyman from you and I made him even better.
To being the longest reigning champion in the past 35 years, I got my receipt and I took his blood at Madison Square Garden and this Sunday.
I like it. The Romans that I took, not only did I take your advocate and make him my wise man, I also took the title of the longest reigning Universal Champion away from him. Because remember, Brock owned that for a couple years. It was 504 days. Now Roman's been Universal Champion, like damn near 600 days now, right? It's at least like 570, but yeah, he's getting close to now the 600-day rate or the 600-day mark. You know, so there you go.
I make the final move.
I love the intensity here.
His blood at Madison Square Garden, and this Sunday, I make the final move, and I'm gonna take his title. And then Brock, you're gonna know what it's gonna be like to make it personal. Because I'm gonna make it personal. Because it's always been personal to me.
So this was like my only problem with Roman's promo. You know, the way he ended it was a little bit weird. I feel like Roman here kind of was forgetting, you know, what he was trying to say here, right? Because I'll go back a little bit.
You're gonna know what it's gonna be like to
You're gonna know what it's gonna be like.
personal. Because I'm gonna make what it's gonna be like to make it personal. You're gonna know what it's gonna be like to make it personal. You're gonna know what it's
I feel like Roman was trying to say, you're gonna know what it's like to make it personal.
gonna be like to make it personal. Because I'm gonna make it personal. Because it's always
You're gonna know what it's like when you make it personal, because I'm gonna make it personal.
been personal to me.
Then he puts the mic down. And that's the end of the promo. So like I said, Roman's promo, this was a great promo. It was just that the end was confusing. I don't know if he totally, like, you know, botched it. I don't know. But to me, it was a decent promo. It was a decent promo, you know, and it did its job. But yeah, that's that. But anyway, you know, they did their job here. Like there's not much else that you need Roman and Brock to do to build up the match. There's not much else. You know, the story kind of speaks for itself, and now it's really just time to get to the match. They really just had Roman and Brock on Raw just to hopefully pop a rating. And we'll see what the ratings for the show are. I expect a decent rating. You know, they did have a lot of star power on this show. But we'll see what happens on Friday on SmackDown. But I'm expecting Roman to win no matter what happens at WrestleMania. But that was that. All right, moving forward. We had The Miz versus Rey Mysterio. And this was a continuation of what happened last week. If you guys remember last week, The Miz stole Rey Mysterio's mask. He ripped it right off his head, right? They had to cover it with a towel and everything. So The Miz was mocking Rey Mysterio. So before their match, The Miz came out talking about how the greatest, it was like one of the greatest things he's ever done, and how he now gave the match or the mask over to Logan Paul, right? And like I said, I can sit here and bitch and moan all I want about, you know, how Logan Paul does not deserve to be on the WrestleMania card and how he's stealing spots away from other talent that should be there in his place. But, you know, I'm not going to do that. You guys know how I feel. It's not right, but wait, what else can we do? I watched the video this week of Logan Paul training at the Performance Center, and they were talking about, I couldn't stand how much they were dick sucking him, because they're like, oh, if Logan Paul wanted to do this full time, he easily could. You know, I'm not a WWE superstar. I never claimed to be, but if I was, that would offend me. What training has Logan Paul done? I understand he's a boxer. But I think you just come into this whole different world and, do what these WWE superstars do just because you're bigger than them. Like, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. But anyway. So as Logan Paul and Miz are taunting in the ring, Rey and Dominic came out, right? Dom went right after the Miz right away, and then the ref eventually ejected Dom, right, which they almost never do. The ref is almost never adapts like something like that, unless something's been going on. But anyway, so Rey gained the upper hand early, but a distraction from Paul allowed Miz to hit a DDT at ringside. We come back, and this match didn't last too long after the break. So Rey hit Miz with a sunset flip and was able to get the win on a roll up. So after that, let me see. Yeah, so that's what happened. Not much happened, after the match. There was a little bit of a brawl, right? And as Logan Paul had his back turned, Rey was able to take the mask right off his head. So Rey did get his mask back. I kind of thought they would save that for WrestleMania and have a couple others, stay there when they're not looking. But yeah, the segment, it did its job. I'm not that hyped for the match itself, even though I know people will be there to help work the nerves for Logan Paul, but still, I don't have any real excitement for this match. Like I expect Logan and Miz to win, but I don't know. I don't know what kind of wacky stuff does Logan Paul have in store for WrestleMania. I don't know. But, we'll see. Could Logan Paul be doing some high flying moves? Is he going to show up some pure power? I'm intrigued. To see. I'm not excited for the match, but I'm just curious to see. But, Well, I will say this. It was kind of cool to see, what's his name? See Rey get his mask back, and then he in the middle of celebrating, he just takes his mask off and puts the old one, the one that Miz stole from last week, down. That was kind of cool. Excuse me. Who knew bringing back the podcast would take this much out of me already? Next up, we had Almost versus the Viking Raiders. Sorry, I'm taking a pause. I need to. Look, man, I've tried to stay up right now, man. I don't know. I gotta build my stamina back up or something, but too long. We done reviewing. It's hitting me deep. Hold on, let me get some more water. So we had Almas versus the Viking Raiders. So when I first saw that they had Almas in another handicap match, I thought it was gonna be Almas versus Apollo and Commander Aziz again, because you know how WWE loves doing those pointless rematches. But they didn't do that. They didn't do that. They had him against the Viking Raiders, but this was worse. Remember, the Viking Raiders were kind of, I guess, semi built up to face the Usos a couple months back till they got beat, right? So the Viking Raiders are actually supposed to be looked at as this sort of a, I don't know, a respectable tag team. They're supposed to actually be one of the, the more not an up and comer, more of a veteran tag team, respected. And here you have Almas absolutely bury them. Absolutely buried them. This match did not last long at all. So basically, they had Almas. He took out Eric with a couple vicious clotheslines, and he rode out the ring. And the referee counted him out. So Almas basically then just freaking got the easiest handicap victory ever. Like nothing happened. I don't know. I don't know why they couldn't just do like two local talents here. Why the hell did he have to bury the Viking Raiders like this? This is one of WWE's problems. They don't know how to book people. Like, come on. If you wanted to do this, you could have easily just got two local talent. Why you had to go disrespect the Viking Raiders like this? Like, damn. Legitimately. If what they did was almost did was about 2 or 3 clotheslines, and then Eric rolled out of the ring and then got counted out. It was insane to me what I was looking at. I'm like, what the hell we like? Come on. But anyway, after the match, Almas was then getting interviewed, and the interviewer was trying to get Almas say, hey, there's got to be somebody back there that you would like to face with respect. And all of a sudden, Bobby Lashley's music played. Bobby got a huge pop, and now Lashley is officially back, right? And there was reports coming out the last couple, about a week or so that this was happening. This was the plan, and it kind of worked out. I'm happy to see Lashley back. Finally see him. He looked like a beloved babyface, right? I know he's not the best on the mic, but it was really good to see Lashley, because we thought we weren't going to see this guy till well after WrestleMania. So to see him, Lashley tonight, and then McIntyre, who made a huge return about maybe like a month and a half ago, it was great seeing that. Anyway. Excuse me. Like I said, man, I don't know why Yeah, I'm telling you right now. I'm trying to think. Because you're going to be Lashley or Drew. That's who's going to challenge Roman after Mania. There's nobody else. Can't think of anybody else. It has to be Lashley or Drew. Yeah, but hey, I'll say that it is good to see Lashley back after they said he wouldn't be back for months. Look, I don't know what else. And even if you didn't have Bobby Lashley versus Almas, like what else could you have done for Lashley at Mania? I can't think. I honestly can't think of anything else they could have done with Lashley at Mania. I don't. Like, and you look back at everything that's happened on the road to WrestleMania, really going back all the way to day one when Roman got COVID. If Roman never had gotten COVID and, Roman versus Brock happened on that show, where would we be now? Because remember, that was supposed to be the match. Way back then, remember, Seth Rollins was supposed to win the WWE Championship in that Fatal 4-Way. Remember when it was him, KO, Biggie, and then and there was one more person in there that I'm forgetting. Right? That was what was supposed to happen. Seth Rollins was supposed to win the WWE Championship. Roman was supposed to defeat Brock. That was the original plans. It's just crazy to think of, where we are now and where we started and what potentially this card could have looked like if WWE, didn't have Brock win the WWE Championship in that Fatal 5-Way. And yeah, having the, who knows what would happen. We could have probably got something like Lashley versus Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship. Maybe, potentially, I don't know. You never know. And yeah, like the thing, remember, I could easily see WWE doing something where after the night after WrestleMania, Roman's on his high horse walking around with 2 belts. Right? I could easily see them doing something where Lashley goes to confront Roman. Same thing with Drew. Maybe one other person. They're like, we're coming for you. And we're coming for those titles. Find the clip. Like I said, this shit, it's not in order. So next up, after that, we had so we had an 8-woman tag match. So don't get me started, right? I know you guys would love to see me go on a rant about Sasha Banks, right? And her usage and how they're using her on the road to WrestleMania. But you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that tonight. Tonight's not the night for that. And maybe I'll do a separate video on it. Maybe I won't. But I would say that Sasha Banks does not deserve to be put in this atrocity. Nobody cares about the women's tag team titles. They're not going to really be cared about that much more after WrestleMania, regardless of who wins them. It's that simple. They're meaningless. You know, WWE clearly does not care about women's wrestling. They have just 3 matches. You think about all the damn tag team matches you have on this show, right? That's ridiculous. And you only have 3 women's matches. You have your 2 main title matches, and then you have the woman that's thrown there. Seriously, you know, in the tag title match, it's meaningless. And you know, Sasha's gonna go out there and try to make it the best match possible, but at the end of the day, she can only do so much. A performer like hers only do so much. I don't know what else to think without me going on a rant. You know, so they did this 8 women's tag match, and they were even pushing the emphasis that Carmella and Queen Zelina can't stay on the same page, right? So, this match wasn't much, to be honest. You know, there wasn't Sasha. It was kind of the guinea pig for her team. She got beat up for the heels for the most part, but eventually she was able to make the attack to Naomi, who then eventually let Julia come in, and then that was that. So it was an all right contest. It wasn't bad, but excuse me. So Ripley was able to get the win by hitting Zelina with the riptide, which made everybody else around her very, very happy. So yes, so the Bayface is getting their win. The Bayface has actually been successful against the heels. Yeah, I like Rhea and Liv, but I don't know. I feel like this could be Sasha Naomi's year finally. But I'll probably say that for the prediction show. The Bayfaces get the win. We'll just have to wait and see what happens on SmackDown during the WrestleMania. Oh man, this this has been something tonight, guys. I forgot to mention before we go to that. So there was a backstage segment with Reggie trying to propose to Dana Brooke. So this wacky 24/7 title storyline continues. I don't know. It looked like Dan was gonna say yes. I don't know. Like, didn't they start dating on TV technically like 3 weeks ago? And then, ugh. And then all of a sudden, Tamia attacked them as she was trying to pin Dana Brooke for the 24/7 title. But then Cesaro then proposed, and Tamia said yes, even though it looked like Tamia was gonna say no at first. Which is funny. So it looks like we might be getting a double wedding. We all know how WWE weddings are, but we'll see where this leads. The 24/7 title, man, how wacky can it get? What else on this stool? Ah, yes, this actually pissed me off, and I apologize. I apologize for going out of order here, but We had Ricochet versus here we go. We had Ricochet. We had Ricochet versus Austin Theory not four, and there wasn't any belt on the line. I don't know why I was about to say 4. I know on SmackDown on Friday we will have the oh man, I have a headache. On SmackDown on Friday we will have Ricochet defending the IC title in a triple threat match against Humberto and Angel Garza, which actually should be a good match. Kind of doesn't make sense because, Humberto and Angel Garza are a tag team. So them going after each other kind of makes no sense. But anyway, it doesn't make any sense that the IC title is not being defended on the WrestleMania card. I don't get that at all either. So I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, we had Austin Theory versus Ricochet. This actually got me kind of angry, right? We knew that, of course, Austin Theory has a match against Pat McAfee on Sunday I believe it's on WrestleMania Sunday, yeah. But on Sunday. But, and the thing about it is, with everybody that they had on this show tonight, they didn't have Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee was actually, doing his radio show today. But I feel like it would have been awesome to have Pat McAfee on there on Raw tonight. The guy's popular. I love Pat McAfee. And the crowd was going wild for this guy. They wanted Pat McAfee on the show today. But the thing about it is he didn't come on the show. He wasn't there at all. So they did Austin Theory versus Ricochet, and then this is bad. So Theory beats Ricochet basically in 3 minutes. So it's almost a glorified squash match. Do you have Austin Theory? I don't know. So yeah, I'm sorry. So you had Ricochet get squashed by Austin Theory of all people. And, which first off, Ricochet's a champion. You guys know how I feel about champions losing matches like this. I hate it. I hate that. That should not be happening. So you have Ricochet losing to Austin Theory, right? Then you have the IC title being treated like a joke, right? Because the IC title is not even on WrestleMania. One of the most prestigious titles in the whole company is not on WrestleMania, right? And then you have the champion for that title being squashed. I understand Austin Theory has a match at Mania, but the IC title should have a match as well. Why the hell are you having? And the thing, what also doesn't make sense is most likely after WrestleMania, these two aren't even going to feud. Theory's on SmackDown, or not Theory. Ricochet's on SmackDown. Theory's on Raw. So the chances of them even fighting for the IC title, in the future are probably pretty low. So why would you waste time doing this? Why would you do this if you don't have plans for the future? It's just disrespectful. It's a slap in the face to the IC title. It's a slap in the face to Ricochet. Like, come on. You got to think better. You got to do better, man. That's garbage. This was garbage. Why the hell is the IC champion getting squashed, especially when he's defending his title on Friday? Doesn't make sense to me, man. People that are excited for Ricochet winning the IC title, are you excited now? Can you honestly say that you're excited now? I don't think you can. Disrespect the Ricochet, bro. Disrespect. Still, don't get it. Anyway, Kevin Owens came over to the ring to cut a promo. If you guys remember last week, KO had that beautiful segment where he came out as Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm gonna play this promo for you guys. So much happened on the show. And let me know if you guys can hear the promo.
It was nothing compared to my tribute to Stone Cold Steve Austin last week. Okay? No, you all saw it. That was amazing. And
I love an easy heel heat.
I heard people saying that somehow I was mocking Stone Cold. And you know what? Those are lies. What? I said those are lies. What? I said people saying that are lying.
I love KO, bro. I love it. I love KO.
Paying homage to the great Stone Cold we all love and remember. And you know, I know everyone is absolutely ecstatic that Stone Cold Steve Austin is my guest on the KO show in the main event of WrestleMania Saturday. And so am I, okay, I am. But look, last week, that wasn't just me paying tribute to Stone Cold. That was also me doing everybody watching a favor. Because you see, that last Monday night, me dressed up as Stone Cold Steve Austin, that is the closest we will ever get to the old Stone Cold we used to admire. Okay? Because that Stone Cold, he's gone. He's been gone for 19 years. What? He's been gone for 19 years. What? 19 years, and he ain't ever coming back.
What's great about Stone KO is he's basically taking every single element or a majority, most of the elements that made the Stone Cold Steve Austin character great, and he's applying them to this promo here. Like the what chance, right? Stone Cold Steve Austin making beer, the way Stone Cold would cut his promos, right? Oh, that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so. Oh, give me a hell yeah. You know, Stone Cold's taking so many of those different elements that made Stone Cold's character great in the Attitude Era and basically, you know, just mocking them in this promo. KO is fucking fantastic. I don't even think KO is capable of cutting a bad promo. I love Kevin Owens, man. Ooh.
See, at WrestleMania on the KO show, it's not going to be Stone Cold, it's going to be Steve. It's not Stone Cold anymore, it's Steve, okay? That's cool. It's cool. It's Steve, the same Steve that's been drinking himself into oblivion for 19 years now. The same Steve who's so bored to tears on his stupid ranch that he's begging everybody, please, can you come on my little podcast so we can talk about the old days and make me feel good again? Hey, but look, no, hey, that's Steve. He still sounds like Stone Cold. He still looks like Stone Cold. We saw that video, right, of him in front of his little golf cart. It was heavily edited, I'm sure, but he still looked and sounds like Stone Cold.
Hey, man, Stone Cold Steve Austin, based on what I'm hearing, Stone Cold's as jacked as ever for this year's WrestleMania. So I don't know. I'll be careful. Stone Cold I'm hearing Stone Cold's in fantastic shape for this year's WrestleMania. I saw an interview of him on the Rich Eisen show, and he is buff. He is loaded and ready to go.
He even still talks a big game like Stone Cold because he knows he has to, but let me tell you all something. Steve is not coming to the KO show to pick a fight with me because he knows damn well what would happen if he picked a fight with Kevin Owens.
He's coming to the KO show to have another nice little conversation about his career. He wants to have a nice little chat. And you know what, Steve? I'm so honored and happy that you accepted my invitation that I will do that for you. I'm a good person. I will give you the biggest platform you've ever had in your career on the WrestleMania main event edition of the KO show. So we can talk about you, make you feel good, and give you the little send-off you think you deserve. You know what? I'm even gonna do something very special for you. See, because I hate beer. It's disgusting.
I love it. It's disgusting. I love that when KO was mocking Stone Cold last week, he dumped the beard on that poor little fella that was dressed like a WWE employee. Oh, that was hilarious.
But I'm gonna drink one with you, okay? We're gonna sit down together in the middle of the ring at AT&T Stadium and drink. We're gonna drink together, right? We can even toast. You know what? That's perfect. We will toast. We will toast to you, Steve Austin, finally, officially passing the torch to me, not only as the new Stone Cold, but the one true master of the stunner, because Owens 316 says my stunner is better than yours.
I love KO, bro. The promo that woke me up. Oh my gosh, this is just fantastic. It's fantastic. Oh, the new Stone Cold, but the one true master, the stunner. I kind of the way KO has done. KO, think about it. KO has booked or has promoted all. He has built this feud basically all by himself. Stone Cold made that one video in front of his truck, right? And then he went, he's done a little bit of media, I guess. He did the interview in the Rich Eisen show, and I don't know what else he's done, but he hasn't appeared on WWE TV. He doesn't need to. He's gonna get the biggest pop of the weekend. He's probably gonna get the biggest pop. Cody's probably gonna get the second biggest pop, and then we'll see what's number third and what else happens. But there's going to be nothing bigger than Stone Cold Steve Austin, especially if it's the main event of night one, which, it's what's heavily been rumored, right? And KO has done basically the whole build by himself. KO has spent the last couple weeks calling out KO in every way possible, and KO has done a brilliant job of doing it. He's done a brilliant job of doing it. So all the credit, all the props in the world to Kevin Owens, man. Oh, he deserves it. He's done a fantastic job, with this feud.
If you think my stunner is better than Stone Cold, give me a hell yeah! And then once that's done, Steve, you can be on your way. Hell yeah! Think my stunner is better than Stone Cold, give me a hell yeah! And then once that's done, Steve, you can be on your way. Doesn't that sound perfect? It does. But Steve, just one little friendly warning. If you try to get funny with me, there's gonna be a stunner, but you will be on the receiving end of it. Oh, hell yeah! Let me repeat that to make sure you heard me loud and clear. Steve, if you try to pick a fight with me on the KO show, I will end up pouring one of your very own beers onto your lifeless carcass after I open up a can of whoop-ass on you. And that's the bottom line, because KO said so.
Man, he's got delusional.
I love how the first thing Michael Cole says is he got delusional. I love it. This was brilliant. This was brilliant stuff by KO. brilliant stuff by KO, and I enjoyed it. I love it. KO has done a fantastic job building this. And the thing about it, it's not even a match. I kind of wish it was a match just because of how good KO has been. And I think KO is deserving of a match at WrestleMania. But no matter what it is, I don't know what it's going to be. So if it's going to be like a cinematography movie, I don't know if it's going to be a brawl. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know how much Stone Cold's going to be willing to do. If I had to make a prediction, probably Stone Cold's going to let KO, beat him up, maybe even hit him with a stunner. And then Stone Cold's going to come back, right? Probably do a bunch of his old moves, hit a stunner, and then, add in WrestleMania with an epic beer bash. It's probably going to be something like that. And I'm hyped, and I cannot wait to see how it all goes down. But still, man, I would love to see KO get a match, man. I would love to see KO getting a push after Mania. I say this all the time. KO is one of the most underrated and one of the most unappreciated guys in that company. The guy can't cut a bad promo. He always brings it in the ring. The guy has charisma on so many levels. Babyface or heel, he always brings the fight. He always makes sure to let you know what's on his mind and helps you tune in. This was a fantastic promo, from start to finish. There was no weak spots. This probably was the best promo on the whole show. Probably was the best promo of the whole show. It was fantastic. Fantastic job by KO, and, he's basically done the whole build to this segment or whatever you want to call it all by himself. And he's done a great job with it. I would love to see KO get a big push after Mania, right? Give me KO versus Finn Balor for the United States Championship. Why not? He says KO's probably not winning a made world title anytime soon. Do that. I want to see KO back. He deserves a huge push after Mania in my eyes. The guy has been brilliant. And it's time to get some gold back on KO's shoulder. But great stuff here from KO. And then we'll see what happens Saturday night with him and Stone Cold. I forgot to mention earlier. So Seth Rollins, his WrestleMania path has been confirmed. There was a video floating around social media this afternoon, which they showed on Raw. Seth Rollins went over to WWE headquarters. They did a funny segment with him and Vince McMahon. And basically Vince said that he's going to WrestleMania and that, Vince will be the one choosing Seth's opponent, and Seth will not know till he's in the ring on Saturday. And basically we don't know it's going to be Cody. We don't know it's going to be Cody. There, if it was like a big name from WWE, right, we would probably already know who it was. I don't, and there's nobody big enough from injury, right, that has injuries right now that could be coming back. Yeah, so it's clear it's going to be Cody. It was a funny segment. Vince, if I'm being honest, Vince did sound a little bit old in the segment. You could tell he's getting a little bit older. Like his voice doesn't really have that strength, that usually strong presence that it usually does, right? So I don't know. I know that there's always like doctors around Vince that are, that especially once you get to that older age, they want to, make sure you're okay, you're able to do what you want to do, stuff like that. So, but I didn't notice Vince did sound like, he sounded a little bit old. I'm not gonna lie. His voice is starting to get a little bit raspy, but I don't think that's gonna stop Vince. But big thing is Seth finally has a match confirmed for WrestleMania. I'm happy. And definitely him and Cody, they have the chance to absolutely steal the show. Absolutely potentially be the match of the year. Those two, man, are absolutely incredible. So we'll see what happens. But yes, Seth, what was I gonna say? Seth Rollins actually has a confirmed match in Mania. He'll find his opponent Saturday night, which will most likely almost guarantee to be Cody Rhodes. I don't even know. It's such a waste of fucking time, man. Really, it blows my mind that we have Bobby Lashley facing Owens and Drew McIntyre, two former dominant WWE champions. McIntyre is facing freaking Happy Corbin. Makes zero sense to me. Yes, they did, Chris. Thank you. Yes, they did the fucking. Well, so it looks. At least I'm not losing my mind here. They did this. They did it a month ago. Correct. Well, Marcus. Marcus, when I tell you I'm tired, I am tired. So, moving on. We had Edge and AJ Styles. They cut promos. I'm only gonna play Edge's for you. I don't need to play AJ's. AJ's was more straight to the point. I want to play you Edge's.
Guess what? You can get 20% off at ASOS right now. Yep, you can save 20%.
Last week on Raw, I had a choice to make. Do I blast Seth Rollins with a chair and give him another beating this Sunday at WrestleMania? One that he deserves, and it's very tempting. Or do I let fate take its course? But like I've talked about recently, I've decided to take fate into my own hands, and that made me realize, AJ, it's serendipity. It needed to be you.
All these big words that Edge is using, man.
Each other. You needed me to pull off the veil of mediocrity that you placed on your own head, to remind you that you were an era-defining superstar in this industry. You're welcome, by the way. I, on the other hand, I needed you to become what I've become. I am a wild light, blinding bright. I am the benchmark of the WWE. We've already pushed each other to better places, AJ. Only I will keep soaring and you will stay where you are. This Sunday at WrestleMania, finally, after over 20 years of running parallel, collecting championships wherever we've gone, blowing the roofs off of arenas worldwide, you and I will face off on the grandest stage of them all for the first time ever in a match for the ages. But AJ, I saw the look in your eyes Monday, and I realized that I am already roaming inside your head. This Sunday at WrestleMania, AJ, it's your judgment day. And your judgment is sealed.
Excuse me, AJ. Can I get your reaction?
I would play AJ's promo. AJ's. Well, actually, might as well.
On Edge's comments just moments ago?
My reaction? Edge used a lot of words to justify another cheap shot. That's my reaction. You know, it was a month ago where Edge grabbed a steel chair and cracked me in the back of the head. Not once, because that wasn't good enough, but twice. And since then, his music's changed. He's changed, as if he were trying to get inside my head. Mission accomplished. All I have thought about is what I will do to Edge once I get him in that ring. He wants the pit bull. He's going to get something a lot worse than that. He wants to destroy me. Well, the feeling is mutual. He says my judgment's coming. The verdict's already in. the phenomenal AJ Styles is going to deliver at beating the Edge, nor the WWE Universe will never forget this Sunday at WrestleMania.
That was good stuff. That was brilliant stuff from Edge and AJ. You know, Edge's promo was ridiculous, bro. We say this, Edge cuts great promos as a face, but as a heel, it's just like comes so natural to him. He plays the bad guy so well. And then the look and everything. I cannot wait to see Edge's entrance this weekend on Sunday, man. You know, will he come out with his normal theme, or will he be using that new Alter Bridge thing that he's been coming up with? You know, so it'll be interesting to see what Edge got in store. But I am hyped for AJ and Edge. Very, very excited. I think this is regardless of who wins, it's hard. I still haven't made a pick yet. Regardless of who wins, I think the feud's going to continue anyway. I think this could definitely almost be another best of three like Seth and Edge was, but we'll see. All right, moving on. Moving on to probably what was my favorite part, or one of my favorite parts of the night. So we had Bianca Belaire cutting Becky Lynch's hair off. This was crazy. So Bianca, she had not been seen on Raw for a couple weeks because of the attack that Becky did on her. And basically Bianca went on this promo saying, oh, after everything Becky's done, I'm here standing and I'm going to walk out of WrestleMania Raw Women's Champion.
I'm going to take your title
Oh,
and
there
I'm
it
going
is.
to walk out as the new Raw Women's Champion, and it ain't a damn thing that you can do about it.
Whoa. They just got a whole lot more interesting with the entrance of the Raw Women's. Wait a second.
So Becky tried to attack Becky from behind. I'll give Becky credit because last week Becky, don't get me started on some of these outfits. I know I haven't been doing reviews, but don't get me started on some of these outfits that Becky has been wearing these last couple weeks. It's been fucking horrendous with some of these stuff that Becky's been wearing. It's insane to me, some of the stuff she's been wearing. What the hell? You know? So I kind of smile when I see Becky in more normal clothes tonight. Came out like, you know, I guess crop top, sports bra, right? You know, sweats, a little more simpler. But I was smiling to see Becky not wearing some stupid hairdo, ridiculous glasses, and an outfit that sucked. Because I think I had nightmares of what Becky was wearing last week.
I believe from under the ring again.
Out of nowhere. This time Bianca Belaire was ready for big time Bex.
Got a scrap here in Pittsburgh.
So Becky and Bianca going at it.
Women's champion right now.
EST fighting back, remembering the assault of last week.
Look at Bianca go. Hellacious attack on Lynch.
Belaire understands this is the kind of aggression you're going to need against
So Becky grabbed a chair.
Once again, reminding Bianca why Becky is champion and Bianca's not.
So Becky hit Bianca in the gut with the chair.
To which Becky Lynch will not go.
Couple of chair
To which
shots.
she will not stoop to remain Raw Women's Champion.
She said she sold her soul for that title.
I'm threatened by you. There's nothing else I can do.
Oh, what is this?
And the biggest thing,
Said I was coming for your hair, Bianca.
Becky had scissors. When I first brought these out, I was like, there's no way they're doing it. This is just a tease.
Oh my God.
Come on, Becky. She's going to cut it off. Becky Lynch is going to cut off Bianca Belaire's.
Oh my. Oh my God.
Come on, Becky. She's going to cut it off. Becky Lynch is going to cut off Bianca Belaire's.
Right into the KOD. Face down. Those big time bets. Just in time.
Bianca just avoided complete disaster.
So Bianca hit the KOD on Becky.
Bianca
after almost getting her hair cut. And then Bianca hit a second one. And I thought that was it. Bianca was singing about it. I was like, there's no way they were going to do it. There was no way they were going to do it.
Becky wasn't really going to do it. Becky was playing mind games.
Bianca's going to finish what Becky Lynch tried to start.
No, please.
Bianca's not playing.
And Bianca starts cutting Becky's hair. This was one of the best things. You had Sonya and Adam Pearce. The refs, they tried stopping her. But this is dumb. So Sonya and Pearce, they're yelling at Bianca to put her down. Why aren't you grabbing Bianca and trying to get the scissors out of her head? Look at this. They're just sitting there yelling, watching Bianca cut Becky's hair off.
The Van Gogh of WWE. She is humiliating big-time bets.
So Bianca cut a shitload of Bianca cut a shitload of Becky's hair off. A lot. And afterwards there was hair over the ring. Bianca was walking backstage with the pieces of Becky's hair with her along with the scissors. So Becky afterwards just went backstage and said, Bianca, you bitch. All right. And basically that's at the state. I'm gonna say this right now. This was a fantastic segment. This was easily the best segment that Bianca and Becky have had probably their entire feud. And I'm talking about all the way back going to SummerSlam. This was the best that they've had, And, it kind of sucks that it took us 8 months to actually get a really good segment between these two. But, this was it. Why didn't we get this type of Becky before? Why the fuck did you waste time with all these stupid outfits, right? And trying to talk like you're a movie star and all this. Why didn't we just get stuff like this? This was great. And it actually helps make the match, at WrestleMania actually have a little more hype about it now, Like, I didn't really care about the match too much before, but now it's a little more interesting. I will say this, though. I don't know, for Bianca Belaire fans, I don't know if Bianca's winning. Like, before, I was pretty certain that Bianca would win. Now, I don't know. Unless they're gonna go Becky's gonna go under some kind of character change, right? I don't know if this could be the setup, because clearly, Becky's probably gonna have to cut her hair before WrestleMania, right? And I'm guessing, there's no way they would have done this segment if Becky didn't agree to it. Becky had to say, okay, I'm fine, with Bianca cutting my hair a little bit, right? I don't know if Becky had the plan that she wanted to cut her hair. I've never seen Becky's hair short, even when she was down in NXT. Maybe I guess when she was in NXT, it was a little bit short, but Becky's almost always had long hair her whole time in WWE. So I guess this might have to be Becky's idea. I don't know what the plan is for Mania, but I gotta give Becky credit. She had to agree. It takes guts to get your hair cut off on national TV like that. There's imagine if they had cut Bianca's ponytail. That would have been something. But either way, it was a great segment. But it kind of scares me when you do something like that. It's like, it almost feels like Becky has to win at Mania. And clearly that's not the case. It would be Becky doesn't need the WrestleMania win. Becky's got in her WrestleMania moments. It's more about Bianca, right? And in WWE's eyes, rewriting the wrong from SummerSlam. But I don't know. It kind of, if you're a Bianca Belaire fan, you should kind of be a little bit scared and nervous going to WrestleMania. I don't know if, I don't know. The way Becky sounded in that promo, I would not be surprised if Becky wins on Sunday. I could see Becky going for Bianca's ponytail next. So I don't know. I still think if I had to take a guess, I would go with Bianca winning, but I would say I'm a little less positive, that Bianca's winning than I was a couple hours ago during Raw. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, like I said, man, this was a fantastic segment. Easily the best segment that Becky and Bianca probably had throughout their entire feud. This was great. And we'll have to wait and see what happens at Mania. King says Bianca's going to turn heel. I don't know. Because then you would have to turn Becky back into a face. Like, it wouldn't make sense really for Bianca to turn heel if you wouldn't turn Becky face. So maybe they could do a double turn, but, there's really no signs of Bianca turning heel right now. Maybe if Bianca loses at Mania, she gets frustrated enough to the point where she turns heel. But I just don't see it happening right now. But we'll see. We'll wait till Mania. But yeah, great segment between Becky and Bianca. Last but not least, we had RK Bro versus the Usos, the main event Raw. Which I was kind of surprised this was the main event on the Go Home show, but either way, I wasn't complaining. If you guys remember the match that these two had at Survivor Series, it was fantastic, and this match was great as well. Another great match. I wouldn't say this match was as great as their Survivor Series match, but it was still a pretty damn good match. So I'm gonna skip here towards the end. So Randy Orton was catching fire, right, setting up for the RKO, and then the Street Profits came out and caused the DQ. You also had Nakamura and Rick Boogs. Remember, Nakamura and Rick Boogs are facing the Usos at WrestleMania as well for the SmackDown tag titles, right? They got involved, but I was more surprised because Gable and Otis were on the show, and we know they'll be in the match. But I was surprised by the Street Profits here. Like, they attacked RK Bro during the match, which is more, and they caused a DQ, which is more of a heel act. The Street Profits have acted a little more like heels the last couple of weeks. I don't know if this is maybe a plan that WWE has where they're actually planning on turning the Street Profits heel, which I am not against. I love the Street Profits. They're great baby faces, but they have been playing the same gimmick now for years. So maybe them turning heel would be a little bit of a change of pace and then something new for them to work off. But I was surprised that they attacked RK Bro just casually near the end of the match. This is usually a heel thing. But I don't know. We'll see what's going on with the Street Profits. So but anyway, yeah, so they caused the DQ. Nakamura and Rick Boogs came out into it, but Riddle and Orton were able to take care of Angel, Garza, and Ford. They did some beautiful RKOs, and that's really how the show ended. So RK Bro, people forget how popular RK Bro was or is. You can put them on any time during the night, and they will absolutely steal the show. Gonna take off my hoodie here as we get near the end. It's getting hot in here. But yeah, RK Bro is great, and we know that they have their triple threat match for the Raw tag titles on WrestleMania Sunday, which should be that should be a great match. Street Profits, RK Bro, Gable, and Otis. I feel like those three teams are gonna absolutely kill it, and I would say right now I expect RK Bro to retain. But all in all, pretty good way to send the crowd home happy. At first, when I saw the main event, I was like, but then I was like, it's RK Bro with how popular they are, and they already covered everything else they need to on the show, so I was fine with them closing. But all in all, this was a decent episode of Raw. And all in all, a decent way to close out the build towards WrestleMania. I'm not, like I said, I'm still not that happy with the way the WrestleMania build has been. It has been pretty much a disappointment for me. I'm not super excited for WrestleMania, but like I said, I'm gonna be honest. Here. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys. And then I think all in all, this show did help in terms of building up some excitement for WrestleMania. And I wish they had just done this throughout the entire build of WrestleMania and then just making the card a little bit better. And you guys know how I feel about the card. But either way, we'll see what happens this weekend. I am planning on most likely having a WrestleMania preview prediction show at some point this week, hopefully. And then I don't know. I'm probably not gonna have time to do a SmackDown review with WrestleMania Saturday night. You know, maybe I do like a quickie just talking about the Undertaker and some stuff, but we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, still, it felt good. It felt good to be back. I can't promise I'm gonna be back every week. You know, I am rusty. You know, I am very tired right now, so I'm gonna head out and then get some rest. But hopefully, I'll be back in full form. Definitely, I hate being rusty. I hate being rusty here. You know, and I know this was kind of a hard part, but thank you guys for sticking with me and staying with me. But other than that, you know, I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys for the love and support. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel by hitting the bell next to my name, Fitz TV. So whenever I get a video or whenever I post a video, you guys will know about it. Thank you for everything. I will see you guys later. Stay safe and healthy. Peace.